Most people treat boundaries like a weapon. They think if they learn the right script or say no loud enough, they can fix the outside world. But if your internal foundation is cracked, you're just building walls around an empty temple. Today we're talking about the architecture of boundaries, not just with others, but within yourself. The guardian and the grind. We are the guardians of our gates, and sometimes we think it's like the noble, easy thing, but in reality, it's a struggle with discipline. And when you don't have discipline, the world gives you the contrast, the polarity, the test of the very thing that you're missing. So you have to pay attention and set internal boundaries, otherwise you'll get a slap in the face. I know when I work out, meditate, and journal, living life is much easier because I'm loving myself more. I notice that when I don't set those physical boundaries for myself, I feel off. But when I'm on, my communication is better, I'm less irritated, I listen instead of react. The feeling of being overwhelmed with work, life, projects, relationships starts to fade. So it's easy to set a boundary with the world, but it's much harder to set one with your own exhaustion. So fixing the boundary within opens the door for destiny, the thing that's been waiting at the door. The architecture of others. Now there's the external layer, other people setting boundaries with me and me setting boundaries with them. We often misread these. Sometimes someone shuts a door and we take it as an attack, but their architecture is their journey. If I can regulate myself in those moments of disagreement or conflict, the annoyance is so much easier to get through. It's hard, especially if you've built up patterns for 42 years. Until I met my wife, I've never had the safe space for conflict. As a kid, it was building a wall from my dad, who tended to get angry, and I never knew anything else but what was inside of my walls. So anyone that knocked a little louder than I preferred, I thought was attacking my temple. Divine friction. The universe does this too. It sets boundaries through friction, closed doors or mistiming, like a trip getting canceled or a flight delayed. We think it's failure, but I'm realizing that friction is often just direction. It's the universe helping you protect the foundation when you aren't strong enough to do it yourself. True alignment is stepping on the steps that the universe paved for you because you already visualized it. If your internal temple is broken or empty, the universe fills the gap with exposure and protection. The true self. The point of all this is that it isn't about building a perfect boundary, it's to keep finding your way back to who you actually are. And for me, that's working out, meditation, journaling, and those aren't habits. They're the gates. They're the gates of my temple. And when I skip them, I don't just feel off, I feel undefended, like I left the door open and wonder why the inside is so cold. And the temple isn't built once, you have to maintain it. It starts every morning, and some mornings you don't show up, and that's not failure. That's just the gate waiting to be secured. And I'm still building mine. That's what the cycle is showing me. So today's my birthday, and it's a new moon in Gemini, so I'm really excited about what is to come, moving forward. My wife surprised me on a fun meditation, sound healing, and kind of Reiki appointment, and it was really therapeutic, and it reminded me about how important breathwork is. So I plan on adding that to my routine as well. I think it's incredibly important to be able to understand your body more through breath work and feeling this sensation of like tingliness in your body. And we were talking to the lady who was doing it. It was a private lesson. It was just us three. And she also reminded me about fasting. And, I've gone through several fasts. The longest one I've done is probably like 3 days. So I'm thinking about doing that again and trying to do a longer fast. It's hard on the second or third day. You start getting cranky and, annoyed. But the feeling of breath work, that tingly feeling and this re-energizing self, you get the same kind of experience with fasting. And another interesting thing, I've been eating mostly fruit. I've been feeling amazing. I've been feeling so much life and energy. I don't know if anyone knows, but I'm vegan, so sometimes I indulge in like burgers and stuff like that. And today for my birthday, we had a burger and it was delicious, but I felt so heavy and tired. And so I kind of want to get back into this state where I feel more myself and more energy and more aligned with, who I actually am. And I think that diet, fasting, meditation, journaling, working out, and breath work is all important for that. So I'm curious, where are you feeling the most divine friction in your life right now? Is it a boundary you've been avoiding with yourself? Let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it.